drummingforlife.com. Hey there, it's Vaughn at drummingforlife.com. Aloha, hope you're doing well. So today I want to share with you a simple exercise that's going to help you improve your jazz drum fills timing. So in jazz, we often get called to play drum fills that don't end on counts 1 or 3. So for instance, when we're playing just like kind of a basic rock beat, I'll show you kind of a typical rock drum fill, and you'll see that it ends on count 1. Check this out. 1, 2, 3. All right, so you can see it's just ending on count 1. 1, right? This is very common in pop and rock music, and it's there for a reason. The reason is to make things predictable, and they kind of button up those musical phrases. It's a nice, neat little packages. But in jazz, we don't do that. We like it messy, and the way to get your drumming more messy is to end your fills in different places. So not always on count 1, not always on count 3, but actually you can do it on the and of 1, or count 2, or the and of 2, or the and of 3, or count 4, or the and of 4. And I'm going to show you how you can practice that and really get better at that. And I think the most important thing you have to do is to be able to kind of internalize that. And once you've got it in here, it's going to come out here, no problem. Before we go on, if you feel inclined, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you like what you see here. And also be sure to swish that like button and leave a comment. I love to read your comment, and I love to connect with you, and I do respond to all of my comments. So let's go ahead and let me show you this exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you might notice what I'm doing is I'm playing along with the metronome at 30 BPM, and I'm using that every time it clicks as count 4 of my measure. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, go, 1, 2, 3, click, kind of like this. I have another video I created about how to practice effectively with a metronome, and I'll put the link below in the description for you to check that out. This is kind of what I'm doing here. So what you're going to do is count that click. You're going to just kind of slide that over in your mind and make that count 4. Now, what we're going to do then is we're going to then play, as you notice, we're going to play just like a snare hit or a kick drum hit on the and of 1. And that's just a good way to kind of get things going, all right? But we're going to do the same exact thing, okay, for count 2, and of 2, the and of 3, count 4, and the and of 4. Notice I'm skipping over counts 1 and 3 because those are the ones that are the most predictable and the ones that we're the most comfortable with. So we want to do the stuff that's uncomfortable, because the more we can do that, we're going to be breaking those kind of physical and mental patterns in our drumming, and it's going to help open new doors of creativity and expressivity. So that's really what we want to do here. We want to get to the music. We want to get to the meat of it, which is really the music that we want to play. So let's go on, and I'm going to do just go ahead and kind of go through all of them for you, and just playing snare drum or bass drum. Now, you don't have to do it exactly like I'm doing it. You could just do them all snare drum. You could do them all bass drum. You could mix it up as you feel comfortable. Whatever you want to do. The goal here is to be able to feel that timing and to nail those snare hits or bass drum hits in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. And so the way you want to do this is you want to just use a basic kind of jazz groove. So we're just going to play that spang-a-lang on the ride cymbal, and we're going to play our hi-hat on 2 and 4. So our snare drum and our bass drum are really going to be playing those particular rhythms in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm sure you can see that this is kind of also a coordination exercise, really, right? This is also really helpful, I think, to kind of expand your drumming and your drumming ability. So it's also something that I think will really benefit you in the kind of overall big picture. Now, what we can do, we can take this a step further, and instead of just playing one hit, you know, like a bass drum hit or a snare drum hit, we can actually do fills into it. And this is when it gets really, really fun. This is also kind of a higher level of ability. So if you don't feel comfortable yet with the coordination of the basic hits, you better focus on that first. But when you get comfortable with that, I encourage you to then try doing drum fills into it. And anything you want to play works. The goal here is just to think, okay, my end is going to be the and of one. The end of my fill will be the and of one. The end of my fill will be count two. My end of my fill will be the and of two, or the and of three, or four, or the end of four. So you're going to be aiming for those endpoints in your drum fills. All right? So let me go ahead and play that for you and give you some examples. 1, 2, 3. So there's also some benefit for using the metronome in this way. Rather than having it hammer out on quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, having it just be on that count 4 really makes me accountable for the time. It helps me internalize my time more. And there were times where I was just a little bit off here and there, you could hear that. But it helped kind of rein me in, bring me back. And it's always a great kind of check and balance. So, you know, no matter how good you get, there are always going to be those times where, you know, you're going to have a little ebb and flow in the time. And it's really good to have something that's this kind of concept will help ground you in your practice for sure. So you can see also what I'm doing is I'm just playing fills, just anything I want to play, and just that feels good. It's kind of like setting up the big band. If you've ever worked with a big band, worked in big band drumming, it's a very similar concept. So just kind of doing your fills and setting up those kicks. And you know, especially in big band drumming, you're going to find that those kicks are in exactly what we're practicing now. They're on the and of 1, they're on count 2, they're on the and of 2, they're on the and of 3, and they're on count 4 and the and of 4. They're sometimes on count 1, rarely on count 3, except for maybe a pedal tone with a bass like ding, dang, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. Usually it's very syncopated, so this will also help prepare you for that. Now, one thing I want to mention is that one of the hardest things to do is to do fills into counts 2 and 4 because your hi-hat is on 2 and 4. And we're so used to our fills kind of ending on count 1 that we then will start to kind of adjust our hi-hat thinking, oh, this is count 1, I'm going to count 1, so your hi-hat's going to change and try to play the 2. but don't let it do that. Just keep the hi-hat going on 2 and 4, 2 and 4. It's going to be a challenge, but it's a really good challenge, and it helps kind of keep that hi-hat really stable and is a really nice timekeeper. So I encourage you to work on that as well. Really keep that hi-hat going on 2 and 4. Don't let it move around. Let it just make it stay the course, okay? It's going to be really, really important. And of course, in between your fills, you can do some ride time, and you can start your fills wherever you want. You could start it, you can play a whole measure into it. You could play 1 quarter note worth value into it, or 2 quarter notes, like a half note value into it. However long you want to make your fills, just go for it. Just have fun with it. The idea here is learning how to place our fills in a way where we end on syncopated counts, not on the counts of 1 and 3 that we're all so comfortable with. So just a few more things I want to share with you. I've got a lot of stuff to support your drumming. I'm always working hard to help you and try to inspire and motivate you to be the best drummer you can be. And I've got a really wonderful blog that's at vonbaronmusic.com. It's all set up just for drummers. Lots of great drumming tips and kind of concepts that I'm teaching over there. As well, I have private Zoom lessons using all these different camera angles in this exact studio. And if you really want to take your jazz drumming to a new level this year, please go ahead and sign up for drum lessons at vonbaronstore.com. And while you're there, you can also pick up some drumless tracks. These are drum practice tracks. And these are really, really great to help you develop your comping skills, your soloing skills, your reading skills, your time and your feel. A lot of really the important nuts and bolts of playing drums, and really all of them are going to help you prepare for playing with real musicians on the bandstand, which is really our goal always, yes. So the last thing I have is my jazzdrumschool.com, and there right now I have my Brushes Mastery course, which is a massive course about how to play brushes, but also a whole lot of different styles. And I teach you how to do fills and all kinds of flashy stuff, and how to really incorporate your brush playing into your playing overall, and all the different kinds of styles of music, and also specifically in jazz. So I hope you go check that out. And again, that's at jazzdrumschool.com. Thanks so much for watching again. I hope it was helpful for you. And as I always say, keep on drumming. Take care.
drummingforlife.com